Good day, everyone. It's great to be back with you again. I must apologize for last week, Friday. I had a severe cold and croaky voice, and it wouldn't have sounded very nice. So, thank you for those that have started on the discussion panel for this past week. And I hope that you had time to go through this week's unit. There are a few critical things that I need to address with you today, and that is, number one, I want to discuss with you the importance of the academic guideline book. What I have discovered with receiving your assignments is that most of you didn't adhere to the academic guideline book. The guideline book is available on the Funda homepage, and under student, and then when you go in on student, you will find the academic guidelines. Go in there, download it. It is supposed to be your primary source, your primary resource. It should be next to your module outline form or module outline. It is vitally important that you adhere to the academic formats that is requested from you. It is really critically important because it is 20% of your assignment. If you look at how your assignments are marked, 20% of your mark is going to adherence to format instruction in academic guidelines handbook. And then 20% is going to use of prescribed and recommended reading. So your front page, your table of contents, your bibliography is of vital importance. That is giving you already 20% if you do it according to the format that is required. Use of prescribed recommended readings. In the previous unit, we had 3 resources. Now, if you use all 3 resources and you cite it correctly in your body of your assignment, there's another 20%. If you use extra material on top of the 3 resources, that will also give you an extra mark. So already 40% of your mark is going, just if you adhere to the academic guideline book, 40% of that is going already to that. So I want to encourage you, download it. The importance of your front page, the font that you need to use, the spaces that you have to have, you must adhere to that, otherwise you are losing marks. Your bibliography, there is a specific way of how your bibliography must be set up. And you know what, before you start with an assignment, a good advice that I got when I was studying was, do that first. Do your front page, your table of contents, and your bibliography first. Then it's done. Then you put it aside, and then you start working on your assignment. Start off with your introduction, your body, and your conclusion, and use your sites correctly. Reference it correctly. You really have to live and eat your academic guidelines book if you want to be successful in your marks at the end of the day. And therefore, I want to encourage you, make 100% sure that you understand the academic guidelines book. If you need to know anything else, please contact me via email or via Funda, and I will see how I can assist you. I also want to recommend that you find a mentor in your community. Somebody that's also studying, that's got an academic background, somebody that understands the stresses that you go through, and somebody that will be able to assist you, especially with bibliography, with citing, with a synopsis of your work, just to go through your work for you, or even just send in your work earlier so that I can read through it and see where you can make changes or where you can improve or encourage you with that. That also helps you as a student. So really, academic guidelines, number one, that is of most important. Then my other challenge that I have. My other challenge that I have is the discussions forum. Out of a group of 40, only 4 of you took part in the discussions forum. Now the discussions is 30% of your overall mark. So those of you that didn't take part in the discussion forums, you've lost 10%. So you've still got time for the next two to make up for your to make up that 20% that is still available for you there. The discussion forum is not a reading report. A discussion forum is you discuss what you've read and you tell the students and myself about how you found this integration, whether it makes sense for you, whether it doesn't make sense for you, what is interesting for you, what is not interesting for you, how does it help you where you are at in your world, how does it fit into your world. Respond on others that are, be actively part in what is happening. You can go in on Funda anytime. As long as you put it out there, even if nobody is responding on yours, as long as I see that you are busy on discussions, on the discussion forum, that will ensure that you will get your 20%. So do bear in mind, it is not a reading report that you must give me. It is a discussion that you have amongst each other with the work that you are reading through. The assignment itself, read through everything, see how far you can get, and then try and integrate it and discuss it with one another. All right, so what I've discussed with you is the importance of the academic guidelines, the importance of adhering to the academic format, the importance of your bibliography, the importance of your primary resources that must be in your bibliography. And then I've discussed with you my challenge that I have regarding the discussions forum. With so many of you not participating in the discussion forum, obviously there must be some challenges out there. I will appreciate if you will be so kind to send me an email, contact me on Funda. I would like to know what is the challenge. What is preventing you to take part actively in the discussion forums? That is of vital importance so that we as the college can know how we can help you or what we can do in setting up of the modules after this. Thank you for that. And then now we are going over to Unit 2. I know that a week has passed, and I want to thank those that have already starting to take part in the discussions on the discussion forum. And I also want to let you know that the assignment is not due on the 15th of August as it states on Funda. The assignment will be due on the 22nd of August. We will change the date in the next week, so don't be concerned about it. You have a choice between Unit 2 or Unit 3 assignment. You don't do both. One of the two you decide on. Now there is 3 outcomes for cultural diversity, and that is number 1, acquire an understanding of the key concept in the study of diversity. That is the anthropological and the sociological concepts that we've done now. We've dealt with it now in our discussion forums, and you've wrote an essay about it. Apply sociological and anthropological perspectives to challenges in missions and in evangelization. This is this week's unit, which we will then discuss in the forum, and we will discuss it, if you choose, in your essay. The third outcome is apply sociological and anthropological perspective to challenges relating to rites of passage and customs relating to family life. All of us will participate in that in the discussion forums. And you will decide whether you want to do this essay or whether you want to do the essay on missions and evangelization. So this week's work, or this unit's work, and the next unit's work is a lot. It's a lot more than what we dealt with in the first unit. Do not get overwhelmed, really. if you are going to try and do too much at a time, that is when you are going to get overwhelmed. If you are going to wait until a day or two before the assignment is due, that is when you are going to get overwhelmed. If you want to have an understanding of how the anthropological and the sociological issues are challenging us in the church today, and how we should approach the Word of God relating to this, then it is of utmost importance or critical that you really engage with the material provided. This unit, I think, is the unit that all of us really want to study, cultural diversity, with the diversity that is surrounding us at the moment, and it is just increasing, especially in urban situations. How does that affect our evangelizing, and how does that affect our thoughts and perspectives regarding missions? That's the question that we are dealing with, and that's the question that we want answers on. So what I really want to encourage you is take bullet for bullet. Do not try and you take everything in or do everything on one day. It's not going to work. Really time yourself and work through it so that you understand what the concepts of mission is, that you understand what the concept of missionary is. If you've done your work with a sociological and anthropological approach previously, then you will not struggle now as you go forward. You will find that if you do not have that perspective yet, there is a PowerPoint available on Funda under resources, and it's clearly stated anthropological view for cultural diversity and the sociological view for cultural diversity. Go through that, get the basics, and then get right into this unit. You are going to cover various things, cross-cultural ministry, and what it means to have an incarnational ministry, what ethnography is. You're going to look at the Bible and culture. You are going to look at the pagan Shona idea of God and the Christian mission approach in Zimbabwe, that you can have a look at and see if you agree or not. Also contrasting mission churches in the African independent churches. And then you are going to look at Christian persecution. And the integration there will really help you to get a better view on the challenges that missions and evangelists are having at the moment regarding the sociological and anthropological setups in our communities. The discussion forums are going to be on an article of Jim Sutherland's on cross-cultural ministry, and then also on how to deal with Christian persecution. Read it through, integrate it, and really I want to encourage you to take part in the discussions. Really take part in the discussions. The case studies actually gives us a very nice set, 8 steps of how we can deal especially with our discussion groups as well. In the case studies, it asks you obviously to read it through first, and once you've read it, is to identify the basic issues that's in the article. Identify it. And then reflect and meditate on what you have discovered. That's what the discussion groups is about. Reflect and meditate on what you have discovered. And then let the facts of the case and the possibilities, let that be integrated. Discuss it with other people, you know, and find out what they think of it. Discuss it with your family members and find out what that is the beauty of cultural diversity studies, is that it increases, you know, it increases your ability to have discussions with people. And especially it is so critical now that we should. I'm just thinking of an incident a few years ago, not a few years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where we gave a lift to a Nigerian, and was a friend. My daughter met him at this place, and when we came and picked him up, she asked if we can give him a lift because we're going past his house. And then when we dropped this gentleman off, he said it's the first time, he's now over 5 years in Cape Town, and it's the first time that somebody from South Africa has been so kind to him. And I couldn't understand it because it just is naturally for us. And then I then started asking questions to find out what the lived experience is for our African brothers and sisters, the rest of the continent brothers and sisters that come to South Africa. What is their lived experience with us as a Christian community? I'm not talking about South Africa as a whole, just as a Christian community. And I was surprised to find out what the reality was out there. So discuss, and it will make you more sensitive and sensitize you towards all the issues that is relevant in cultural diversity. So the case studies gives us here an idea of how we can relate in the discussion groups. Also, what is the most appropriate course of action? Makes you think that if you are faced with a scenario, what is the most appropriate course of action? And I think that is why we are studying cultural diversity. We are studying cultural diversity to find out what is the most appropriate biblical course of action that we can take in this cultural diversity that we are in now. Not losing the message. Not losing the message of Christ, but being able to be Christ to other cultures, being able to be open to be Christ to other cultures. I'm reminded of Mother Teresa when, now that I'm just talking about it, when somebody asked her how can she live amongst this impoverished situation, and she said that she just wants to be Jesus to everyone, in whose eyes she's looking in. That person that is in front of her, she just wants to be Jesus for that person. And when we talk about cultural diversity and where she came from and how she adapted, how she became part of that culture, and the testimony that she became part of that culture. And the same we can say about Hudson as well. There's a reading about Hudson. The same we can say about Hudson as well, how they became part of that culture and not losing sight of Christ, that Christ was still the center of it all. And I think that is what cultural diversity is asking for us, especially at a Christian college, is how can we truly be Jesus Christ and not losing sight of that, because we can also so easily be on the other side of the tipping end, where we become so encultured and part of that culture that we lose sight of the reason why we are doing it, that we lose sight of the message of the hope in Christ. And I just want to encourage you, really take part, integrate. I'm so sorry that nobody could join us this morning, but as you are watching this video, be encouraged. Do your study your academic guidelines book. Let it become your primary source. Let it be your primary source. Make sure that you are adhering to the academic format. Make sure that you, in your bibliography, that you are using the primary resources that was asked of you to read. Take part in the discussion forums. If you are not taking part in the discussion forums, you are losing 30% of your overall mark. If you are not adhering to the academic guidelines, you are losing 40% per assignment. So I really want to encourage you, and if you have any problems, do not think twice. Send us an email. We are here to help you and to assist you, and we want to do that for you. If there is any questions that you would like me to deal with next week Friday, I will be here next week Friday again. If you have any questions that you would like me to address next week Friday, please feel free to do that. Send me an email, send me a message on Funda, and we can address it next week Friday. I would like to hear more of you, especially in the discussion forums, and I'm looking forward to your next assignments, which I know your 40% will be there. So thank you very much, and everything of the best. And may God richly bless you and empower you and increase your wisdom as you integrate and engage with this material. God bless. Bye.